Alright, so today I'm going to show you guys how to put on dirt bike graphics. Alright, so the things you're going to need in order to do this is obviously some dirt bike graphics, which I have right here. Some kind of graphic applicating solution, which this one that I use is, let's see, what is it? 1.7 Cleaning Solutions Graphic Application Solution. I used this stuff on the other side of this bike and it worked absolutely amazingly. I was very impressed, and it made the job much easier than it probably should have been, or it might have been if I tried to do it without it. So you're also going to need something to squeegee out the solution as you put on the graphics, so just like a credit card or something. I'm just using a Shell gift card, they're all the same. You're going to want probably some paper towels of some kind, so I just have some blue shop towels. And this is probably optional, but I'm going to use some Prep All on the surfaces before I even do anything with them at all, just to make sure that the graphics will stick to them completely. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is just wipe down the plastics in the gas tank with some surface prep. Any kind of surface prep, as long as it's plastic safe, should work. It's basically just used to get any grease, dirt, debris, anything that you might have on the plastics that will get in between the actual sticky part on the graphic and what you're sticking it to. So if there's grease on there, or anything like that, any kind of oil, that will be not very good when you go to put your graphics on. Alright, so just wipe it down. Yeah, any prepping solution should work, as long as it's plastic safe. You want to make sure it's safe on plastics. I don't know if you can tell or not, but you can see the bottom corner of this piece of plastic is just totally gross. But if you wipe it down and prep it properly, you will notice that it cleans up beautifully. So I'm also going to wipe down the gas tank in the areas that I need to put graphics on as well. So, okay, so now we're ready to go. Alright, this is pretty simple. So you take your graphics, or whatever else you really want to put on. You can probably actually do this with stickers too. It's basically the same concept. So you take your graphics and you peel off the protective backing. And this stuff is super sticky, because 3M is ridiculous. Try to be careful not to tear the graphic also, and also be careful trying not to touch it or get it stuck to anything, because believe me, it is a pain if you do. So there is the graphic with the backing peeled off of it, and as you can see, it's totally stuck to my thumb, just barely even being on there. Alright, now you can take your applicating solution, and what I would like to do, or what is probably the best to do, is put it up against, my arm's in the way, put it up against whatever surface you're going to be putting it on, so that any overspray will actually go on the surface. So here we go. If the bottle will spray. There we go. So now just liberally apply this stuff. As you can see, it's literally dripping wet, which is totally okay. If anything, that's better. Now you could just stick this thing on here and start moving it where you want it. This can get a little bit tricky, but eventually you will find exactly where you want this thing to go, which I think I'm about there already. I do not know about you, but I think that looks pretty good. I want to move it just a little bit, and that was actually a lot of it. Okay. Yeah, this can be a little bit tricky, and you can reapply the spray whenever you need to. That looks pretty doggone good right there. Yep, that's about where I want it. So, right there is where the graphic is going to go. So now what you want to do is take a paper towel or a shop towel and wipe down everything. Do this so it gets any excess liquid out of the way, so that when you do start squeegeeing it out, you'll be able to dry it up as you go, instead of having all this excess liquid here, which is just going to make the sticking process more difficult. Alright, so now that you have the graphic where you want it, you're going to want to take whatever squeegeeing device you have and start going from the center of the graphic outward in all directions. So you want to do that to ensure that no air bubbles are getting stuck anywhere. And this process can be a little bit tedious. I also have a blue shop towel on hand, or paper towel, to wipe out the solution as you go along. So you can see, all I'm doing is just trying to push the graphic outward onto the plastics. I'm also trying to get it to stick down, but there's still a little bit too much solution on there to let it stick down right now. So I'll just keep going around, just wiping it, trying to get all the stuff out of there so it'll stick. So there you go. Now that most of it's done with, you can basically let it dry, and what that'll do is any edges that still will not want to stick down, if you just let them dry and let that solution evaporate, then it'll want to stick. So just give it a couple minutes to dry and stuff will start sticking better. Okay, so while that's waiting to dry, I'm going to put the tank graphics on, which these ones are much smaller, especially this little guy. So this one you really don't even have to spray on, you can just eyeball it up and stick it on there, because there isn't very many points that you can mess it up at. So for this, literally all you do is just line up the lines, and you really can't even see, but all you got to do is just line it up with the graphics on the plastics, so you can see. Maybe you can't see, I don't know. The lines are in line, and it looks proper, and the edge on the gas tank is totally symmetrical. So now you can just hold this thing down and get it to stick there. So there, that one's done. Now for the longer one, this one is a little bit more difficult to put on, so I am going to spray it just to make it a little bit easier. So peel the backing off, yada yada yada. I'm just going to spray it off to the side here. I'm not even going to bother spraying the tank. Okay. So now, just going to line up the lines like before. Alright, well I don't know about you, but I think that looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to do the same thing. Take a paper towel, wipe it off, try to get some of the excess fluid out of there. Then take my squeegeeing apparatus and just smooth it down. This corner still doesn't want to stick very well, but I'll just let that dry and then it should be good. Alright, so back onto the main graphics. Oh yeah, now it definitely wants to stick much better. That's still a little problem area right there. But if we go around the rest of the bike, or the rest of the graphics, stuff is wanting to stick a little bit better, but still not very much. You could also just use your hand and try to round off the corners, because obviously you're not going to damage it. Alright, so now that you got the graphics on there for the most part, what I like to do is go over the graphics one last time with the surface wash or surface prep, whatever you happen to have. Because I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but there's a bunch of all these little like glue boogers all over the place, because there's a little bit of excess glue on the perimeter of the graphics once you peel it off the backing. And that excess glue will stick to your squeegee and then get smeared all over the graphics. So I'm just going to take the surface prep and put it on the paper towel. And just wipe down the graphics. This will totally wipe away any sticky like glue stuff left behind. Alright, so there you go. Your bike now has all new fancy shiny graphics. So if you like this video and you want to see more videos like it, more tutorial style videos, just let me down in the comments down below. And I will be more than happy to make more videos like this. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you next time.